Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the newest arrival in the BMW i range. This is the brand new BMW iX2. Now, before we take a look at the exterior and interior of this car, because well, there's quite a lot to talk about, let's run through the headline figures. We've got around a 65 kilowatt hour battery underneath the floor of the car, making up a lot of the chassis. It's got around 309 horsepower when on boost, which I'll show you more on that shortly. And we've got a claimed range of up to 266 miles on the WLTP cycle, and it can charge at up to 130 kilowatts, which means that 10% to 80% can happen in around 30 minutes. Now, that's enough of that. Let's get cracking with the exterior. Now let's begin down at the front end. Of course, the new iX2 is based on the brand new X2, which, as you can see, is quite a bit different to the one that came before. You've got this new, different designed grille on here. You can get this actually that lights up as well, which I know is quite controversial, but I think it looks fantastic. That was seen on the i5 very recently. You've got an entirely new front end. You've got this really nice pronounced bump here, which gives it a really aggressive look over the front of the bonnet. The grills are big, but they are really well sculpted down here. You've got this really nice mesh effect down here with almost like a splitter down at the front here, really nicely sculpted. Then the lights are the new design for BMW. Now, a lot of people in the past knew them as angel eyes or corona rings, which is what they used to be. Now BMW is going for a slightly different light design. You'll see it from a lot of the new cars, this new design language. I think it's a really, really handsome front end. The way everything fits beautifully, it's really angular, quite aggressive, and kind of hides that this car is electric. Of course, there's no openings here because, of course, it's electric. This little tab here hides all of the sensors and so on, all the safety systems. I just think from the front end, it's a really good looking car. Now, as we make our way along the side, you can tell some of the big differences from the previous generation X2. It is now more of a sloping coupe, which in my opinion is probably what it should have been all along. I think it looks fantastic now. This car is sat on the 19-inch alloy wheels. You've got the flush door handles here, which are now becoming part of the BMW lineup on pretty much everything. And it's actually quite a crisp, clean design. You've got one line which runs across here, but you don't have the usual swage line which runs here. It's more of a curve rather than a crisp line. Of course, we've got the Hofmeister kink here as well, and I think it's a really well sculpted car from the side. Now, the X2 and the iX2 have grown in size, so it's actually wider, longer and taller. The wheelbase is bigger as well, so it's just a bit more of a grown-up car. And I do just really like these door handles. Of course, we'll have a look inside shortly, but I think, what do you think? Let us know in the comments below whether you like this new design for the X2. It kind of reminds me almost like a mini X6, which I think is no bad thing. Now, I'm going to spin the car around and we'll have a look at that back end because it's quite different. Now, this is where things are just completely different. I've never seen a BMW quite like this one. Other than the sloping roofline, it is completely different. So, you've got this rear spoiler here finished in gloss black, which actually houses the reversing camera in there. You've got these newly designed rear lights which wrap around the side in a 3D and are a really beautiful design. We've then got this awesome new diffuser down here, which is really angular, really aggressive. All these slats here look really cool. You've then got the model designation, so xDrive30 and iX2 here. Of course, there's no exhaust pipes because fully electric. And I think it is a really handsome looking thing. What about the boot? You press the BMW logo in and it opens to reveal 525 litres of boot space with the rear seats in place and 1,400 litres with them folded flat, which, let's be honest, is pretty exceptional. It's actually, interestingly, slightly more than you get on the iX1, which you'd expect to actually have more because of the different roofline, but no, this is more spacious. Loads of space in here for everything you're ever going to need. There's a little compartment underneath the floor as well to put your charging cables, and of course it's electronically folding as standard. But what about the rear? Do you guys like the change? Do you prefer the previous generation X2? Please let us know in the comments below, and we're going to go inside and have a look at the interior. Now, there is just so much to talk about on the interior of this car. I'll start off by saying I think it is fantastic. It's really moved the game on. Firstly, the quality of everything you touch and feel in here is really nice. This floating center console feels sturdy and solid. Everything, you press it all down, it doesn't make that horrible creaking noise that other manufacturers sometimes do. It's just incredibly well built. Everything's sturdy. And then we move on to the design. Now, if you are used to BMW products, it is quite familiar. You're going to jump in here and feel right at home straight away, but there are a few key differences. You've now got this curved screen directly in front of you, this touch screen, which actually now in the iX2 doesn't have the iDrive controller here to control it. It's now purely a touch screen. Now, it also runs the brand new operating system too, but of course you can also get wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which, let's be honest, most people will use, which is a shame because this new system is really nice, really crisp, really responsive. All your air conditioning, your heated seats and so on are all controlled on the screen, as they are with so many modern cars now. The steering wheel is this lovely new design with different controls on the wheel too. There's not an overload of buttons. It's actually quite minimalistic in here, and it feels like there's a lot of space, and it feels like it's been really well thought out. The finish of this sort of almost 3D effect leather on the doors and across the dashboard is really lovely. The driver's display directly in front of me is amazing. It's beautiful, it's crisp, it's clear. And you've also got, as I mentioned earlier, boost, which is when you'll get all of the power. Now, this is a little paddle here on the steering wheel which can be activated for 10 seconds for that real push that you need when overtaking. You've got a charging pad down here with a really useful little, I don't even know what to call this, little slot which it'll sit in and then almost holds it in, a little cradle. That's quite nice. And then you've got plenty of space here for other bits. Some cup holders down here. I mean, all in all, it is a really lovely place to sit. These seats are absolutely superb. You've got a great view out, considering the rear window is quite small because obviously the sloping roofline. It actually has really good visibility all around. Harman Kardon sound system in this car with this new sort of metal grated grille over them. Yeah, I think it's a fabulous place to sit, and I can't wait to drive one in the very, very near future. Now, if you want any more information on the brand new BMW iX2 and X2, we will be featuring a new X2 M35i and the base model as soon as we can. But yeah, if you need any more information, please use the link in the description of this video to contact your nearest to sit in a BMW retailer. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel for plenty more content to come, and the second we can drive one of these, we will do, and we'll be putting out a video on that too. I will see you again really, really soon.